Namaste, hello everyone. Welcome again to my NPTEL course on interior design. We are at the lecture number 27 today, and we are talking about interior design technology, especially focusing on experimental finishes, materials, and some interesting joinery types. So, this is the broad content for today. Let's start with experimental finishes and materials. And very few are put over here, keeping in mind the time constraint. Of course, there is a lot of information, on more finishes and materials, and you could just have a look or write to me. So, experimental finishes and materials in interior design technology refer to innovative and unconventional options that push the boundaries of traditional design aesthetics. I would say also the functionality. These finishes and materials often incorporate advanced technologies, sustainable practices, or unique characteristics to create visually stunning and functional interior spaces. So, a lot of interesting experimental finishes, material palettes, details, and all facilitated through advanced technologies. They are, right now a buzz and also quite functional and not just aesthetic. Some examples of experimental finishes and materials used in interior design. So, talking about smart materials. Smart materials are designed to respond to environmental stimuli such as temperature, light, or pressure. They can change color, shape, or texture, adding dynamic elements to interior spaces. So they are no more like static properties, but these are dynamic elements. For instance, thermochromic paint changes color with temperature variations, while electrochromic glass can alter its transparency level. So these are all smart materials, and we could see gradation, variation, change in color, change in temperature, change in shape, change in form, as we go along or use these over a period of time or, for a certain interval or during the entire day or across seasons. So these are all very experimental and quite in vogue right now and times to come. Biophilic materials. So, biophilic design emphasizes a connection between nature and the built environment. Materials like moss walls, living greenery, natural fibers bring the outdoors inside, promoting well being and improving the air quality. So, the overall ambience improves, the indoor air quality, indoor environmental quality improves, and we see the bearing on the well being and the user experience in a very positive manner. 3D printed elements. 3D printing technology enables the creation of intricate and customized interior elements such as furniture, lighting fixtures, also the decorative objects. It allows designers to experiment with unique shapes, textures, and structures that were previously challenging to achieve. So, very interesting structural details and designs can also be achieved with the help of 3D printed elements. Sustainable materials. As environmental concerns become more prevalent, interior designers are exploring sustainable options, and we talk about concerns for sustainability almost in every lecture, focusing on one or the other aspect. These materials reduce the environmental impact of interior design projects. So, whether it's a reclaimed wood or a recycled material palette, or something which is eco friendly like a fabric or paper, or something which is reclaimed. So, all of these materials are getting more and more utilized and demonstrated through interior design practices. Examples include reclaimed wood, recycled plastic, bamboo, eco friendly textiles, which could be made from organic or recycled fibers, interesting applications of even cotton, and so on. Transparent solar panels are also getting used. Transparent solar panels are a cutting edge technology that can be integrated into windows or glass surfaces. They allow natural light to enter while generating electricity from sunlight, providing energy efficient solutions for buildings. So, we are always focusing on energy efficient solutions. We are talking about green interiors, we are talking about sustainable practices, and we have discussed these during different lectures. Then, interactive surfaces. Interactive surfaces create engaging and dynamic environments. For instance, interactive wallpapers or LED panels can display changing patterns, images, or videos, adding a layer of interactivity and personalization to interior spaces. Concrete and cement composites. Traditional concrete is being reinvented with innovative additives and manufacturing techniques. This results in lightweight concrete panels, translucent concrete, or self healing concrete that can repair cracks autonomously. So, these are very interesting elements, materials, design features, technological advancements that we are exploring in interior design projects, interior architecture projects. Nanotechnology coatings. Nanotechnology offers advanced surface coatings that provide properties like self cleaning, being antimicrobial, or anti fingerprint. So, these are important capabilities or attributes which can be, achieved through these different materials and coatings. These coatings can be applied to various materials, including glass, metal, or textiles, enhancing durability and reducing maintenance requirements. So that's very interesting. By applying these coatings over the base materials, we could enhance durability and reduce maintenance hassles and costs and requirements. Biomimicry. Biomimicry draws inspiration from nature's design principles to develop functional and aesthetically pleasing interior finishes. So that's quite in trend and very interesting and fascinating, in fact. For instance, fabrics that imitate the water repellent properties of lotus leaves or wall coverings that mimic the structure of honeycombs are some of the examples of biomimetic design. Experimental finishes and materials in interior design technology offer exciting possibilities for creating unique and sustainable environments. As technology advances, designers will continue to explore new frontiers, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in interior design. And that is made possible through experimental finishes, alternate materials, unconventional design practices, fascinating details, advanced technology, all of these put together and more. Like I always say, the details are not the details, they make the design. So, God is in the details. You must have heard me quite often talk about it. And this is also being endorsed by Charles Eames. The details are not the details, they make the design. So, they are very, very crucial. So, when we talk about experimental finishes, materials, specifications, and now we will also see joinery details, they are all very, very important and crucial aspects when we focus on design of interior spaces. Let's see some of the details of the joinery. They are not all experimental or new, but quite popular and much used during interior design project execution and conceptualization. So, joinery in interior design. It refers to the skilled craft of creating and installing wooden elements that enhance the functionality and aesthetics of interior spaces. We are focusing on wooden elements here, with some examples and visuals, but it's also true for other kinds of materials. And, some kind of joinery details are, of course, common to different material palettes. Joinery involves the art of connecting or joining pieces of wood together to construct furniture, cabinetry, architectural features, also some custom made elements. One of the joineries explored over here. It plays a crucial role in interior design by providing both structural support as well as decorative detailing. Some key aspects of joinery in interior design, what we can see over here through some of the examples. So, when we talk about custom furniture, joinery techniques are employed to create custom made furniture pieces tailored to the specific needs and design vision of a space. I'm a big admirer of Japanese joinery and I love the works of architect Bijoy Jain, and the kind of joinery details and the kind of approaches that we see in the works of Mr. Jain. They are very, very in depth, detailed, beautiful, functional, and quite interesting and experimental. Skilled joiners use techniques like mortise and tenon joints, dovetail joints, finger joints to ensure the strength and longevity of the furniture. So there are different kinds of joints that we use. Now, since this course is also for beginners or for people who want to explore interior design for the first time and they are learning through these modules and lectures, so a lot of us may already be knowing about these joinery details, but for the benefit of a larger group, I try to put details which are relevant for all of us at different levels of our understanding and knowledge base, focusing on interior design. So mortise and tenon joint quite popular and it's used very extensively, specifically in furniture. A joinery technique where the cut end, which is tenon from one board, fits into the matching opening mortise of another. So we can see these drawings and how these two pieces are fixed. And this is the popular and commonly used joint, the mortise and tenon joint. There is dovetail joint. Personally, one of my most favorite, joints is the dovetail joints, the joinery that we see over here. Joining two boards in which alternating slots or tails, as they are called, and protrusions or pins, as they are called, each resembling in shape the V-shaped outline of a bird's tail, are snugly fitted together. Thus increasing the gluing area. So this is also a very, very beautiful piece of joinery, not just functional. Produces a joint that even without glue can be difficult to pull apart because we are just fixing the pieces with so much strength. Regarded as one of the strongest and most reliable forms of wood joinery. So this is dovetail joint here. Finger joint. This is another very interesting, strong and beautiful joinery. A joinery technique used mostly in industry where small fingers are cut into corresponding pieces that are joined together. Finger joints are used to make wide boards in extending the length of dimensional lumber and in laminated construction. So therefore they are used in industry extensively. Cabinetry and storage solutions. Joinery is commonly used in the construction of cabinets, shelves, and storage units. Precise joinery techniques such as dado, rabbet joints, tongue and groove joints are utilized to achieve seamless connections and sturdy constructions. This is the dado joint that we see over here. A joint where one piece is grooved to receive the piece which forms the other part of the joint. A groove that is cut across the grain to receive the butt end or edge of a second piece. So this is the groove over here. The rabbit joint. We must have observed old doors and the way, the one shutter and the other fixed with each other. And there is this joint over there that we see. That's also like a rabbit joint. A joinery technique where an L groove across the end of the edge of one piece of wood fits into an edge or end of another board with an L groove. A rectangular stepped recess cut along the edge of a section of wood is what we are calling as the rabbet, and we just saw the joinery. Now, tongue and groove joint. When joining two boards square to one another along a long edge, one can simply butt the joint together and hold it with fasteners. So, tongue and groove joint is also a strong joint, and sometimes it is mistaken or used similarly, as mortise and tenon joint. But there are subtle differences between the two, and both are strong joints, but mortise and tenon is considered even more stronger and mostly used, widely used in the making of furniture and also other elements. However, the tongue and groove joint is much stronger and provides more adjoining surface areas, which is particularly useful if you are going to glue the joint. So, it is particularly stronger if there is some kind of a fastening mechanism that is utilized for the joint. It could be a glue also. Architectural millwork. Joinery is applied to architectural elements like doors, windows, paneling, moldings, trim work. So it's not just furniture, it's not just cabinets, it's not just storage. We see the role and importance of joinery in all the architectural elements and all the interior elements. So here again we see, different details of joinery over here, and here we see the drawings at different points whenever we are decoding an opening, be it door or window. Of course, at different points, at different eye levels, we will see a lot of joinery details, which helps to put the pieces together. These elements can be designed and crafted to match the overall style and aesthetic of the space, adding character and visual interest. Also, staircases and handrails, there also joinery plays a vital role. So, it plays a vital role in constructing staircases and handrails, ensuring structural integrity and safety. Safety is paramount. Techniques like housed mortise and tenon joints, bridle joints, half lap joints are commonly used in staircase construction. A bridle joint is a woodworking joint like a mortise and tenon, in that a tenon is cut on the end of one member and a mortise is cut into the other to accept it. The distinguishing feature is that the tenon and the mortise are cut to the full width of the tenon member. That's the distinguishing feature, starting with the first joint that we saw, the mortise and tenon joint. In traditional timber framing, the bridle joint is commonly used to join the tops of principal rafters. This is the traditional application. So here we see the details, and we see two types of bridle joints over here. There is T bridle joint and there is a corner bridle joint. So there is this T formation and this joinery that we see over here, and we use these wooden dowels. These are like small members which are inserted to give additional strength. In bamboo construction also a lot of bamboo dowels are used. And this is the corner bridle joint, where this portion is the mortise and this is the tenon, and this is used for a corner detailing. Half lap joint, as visually explained over here, and this is how it works. In a half lap joint or halving joint, the material is removed from both members so that the resulting joint is the thickness of the thickest member. Most commonly in half lap joints, the members are of the same thickness and half the thickness of each is removed. Halving lap joints are used extensively in transition and cabinetry for framing. They are quick and easy to make and provide high strength through good long grain to long grain gluing surfaces. So they provide strength, and then there can be additional fastening and gluing also to add to that strength. The shoulders provide some resistance to racking, which is diagonal distortion. So that's also interesting. So in the lecture where we are talking about timber, we have discussed about the grains and different kinds of wood sections and anatomy of wood. So some of the terms that you see here can be clarified while attending to that lecture. Integrated built-in features. Joinery allows for the integration of built-in features such as window seats, banquets, built-in shelving. So joinery is very important tool at our disposal, and we can use it in the most unique and custom ways to create interesting designs. These custom-made elements maximize space utilization, create seamless designs, provide functional solutions. So joinery is quite interesting. Decorative detailing also could be achieved through joinery techniques. Intricate inlays, carvings, and moldings can be incorporated into joinery elements to enhance the aesthetic appeal and visual richness of the design. Restoration and renovation. Joinery is often employed in the restoration or renovation of historical or older buildings. Skilled joiners can replicate original joinery details, match existing profiles, and ensure the preservation of architectural heritage and interior architecture heritage. Material selection. Joinery allows for the use of a wide range of wood species and other materials, but we are specifically focusing on examples concentrating on wood, each with its unique characteristics and visual qualities. The selection of appropriate wood species contributes to the overall design aesthetic and create a warm and natural ambience. Joinery is a specialized craft that requires a high level of skill, precision, and attention to detail. Skilled joiners work closely with interior designers and architects to bring their design concepts to life, ensuring that the joinery elements harmoniously blend with the overall interior design scheme. So, as designers, we must be aware of these joinery mechanisms. It's a part of our training. We must build models, we must make mock ups to understand their functionality and the ways the pieces are assembled together. But it is always nice to learn from carpenters and joiners and other kadigars and workers and makers and work with them in an ecosystem in a very collaborative manner to have, a better knowledge base, to have more experience, and to have more variety in our work. Some of the basic joints are put over here, and we have already seen some of these during our discussions. So, some of them are strong, some of them are weak, but the ones that I discussed in particular are quite popular and commonly used. There is a video that we see over here. So, to talk about joinery in a very conclusive manner at the end of this lecture, joinery is the heart of woodworking. Without it, our furniture would be piles of wood. And I agree with that and I endorse to that. Some of the references, some websites that you see over here. And the book, the handbook also continues to guide us, and you will see that reference quite often in many lectures. Thank you so much.